This is Senior Master Coordinator Bob Ferguson, and it is an absolutely delight tonight to have with me again my birthday brother. We are September 9th birthday brothers, and we will always be September 9th birthday brothers. That's the really great thing about it. They can never separate us.
And you will never catch me.
No, I will never catch up with you. We determined that at the last call, but you will always be slightly ahead of me.
Older and wiser.
Older and wiser, that's right. So to get serious here for a moment, which is fairly difficult with my birthday brother, but we'll give it a shot. We actually are going to talk about something that is incredibly serious, and that is how our immune system functions. And as Rusty has pointed out, there are things that boost the immune system, and there are things that modulate the immune system. Those are two very, very separate processes. And tonight we're going to go and have a very, very deep dive into the mechanism of the Shaklee product called Nutriferon. And Nutriferon is a unique compound. And since I'm not qualified to steal any of Rusty's thunder, I will stop talking very shortly. But I have for a long time wanted to have someone like Rusty who's got tremendous credentials. He is a master pharmacist. He is what we refer to as a weeds and seeds pharmacist. He actually studied, let me see if I can get it right, pharmacognosy. Did I get it?
You did. Good job.
And which is the identification and study of the plant kingdom. And he was one of the last classes to get that course before it was done away with. So we've got someone who is eminently qualified to talk about a product like this, which is essentially an herbal product that has an action on our immune system, on our body. So without further ado, Rusty, why don't you take it away?
Okay, I will share my screen.
Okay, I will share the screen. Let's see here.
I already did.
You got it. Okay, great. Okay, excellent.
I already did. Okay, so tonight, as Bob indicated, we are going to talk about the immune system, the immune response. We've talked about this a couple of times, and so at the risk of beating a dead horse, we'll go talk about it one more time. And because we do agree on the fact that it is so important in today's world. And today's world is different because I think about, I was in St. Louis, Missouri, and that was the site of the Olympics in, I don't know, sometime around 1900. And we were at the stadium, and the stadium had bleachers that probably held 100 people. And I thought, wow, that's really something for an Olympics. And then I realized anybody that came to the Olympics had to probably start a month ahead of time on a ship from somewhere in the world. And so that is so much different than it is today when you have people traveling all over the world in a matter of hours. And so what happens in England could happen in San Francisco in just a matter of hours. So we have to be prepared. And as this slide says, true health can be attained only by maintaining a healthy, properly functioning immune system, because we are always, from henceforth, going to be bombarded with invaders of some kind, whether it's ragweed or whether it's a common cold, whatever, we're going to be invaded. And so Bob mentioned that we have a unique product, and we do. It is unique. Unique is a very singular word. It doesn't mean most of the time. It doesn't mean some of the time. It means unique, one and only. And the reason we know that is because it's patented. And Shaklee controls the patent. So if we look then, Bob talked a little bit about this. Two things that affect the immune system. One are the immune system boosters, things like Shaklee Defend and Resist. Several garlic is an immune system booster. These are items that, or herbs, medical compounds that affect the immune system by increasing it. And because you can overdo it, immune system boosters have to be used on a sparing basis. I think in the world of pharmacy, we have the steroids like prednisone. Many people on the call probably have taken or know somebody who's taken prednisone. And that's exactly what prednisone does, is it boosts the immune system. And the reason that not everybody should do it all the time is because that when it boosts the immune system to the point that the normal immune system stops working. So people have to taper off the dose of their prednisone so that their body's immune system starts working again. And so that's no different than herbal immune system boosters. Tonight we're going to talk about immune system modulators, and immune system modulators are products that do not overstimulate the immune system. They just keep it topped off. And I'm sure you've heard my word picture by now that if I left Southwest Florida in a car headed for Seattle, that I would run out of gas. But if I pulled a tank behind me that was full of gasoline, and every time I burned a gallon of gas in my car, the tank behind me automatically put another gallon of gas into my car, I'd never run out of gas. But it can't overfill the tank, so I would never be at risk of having an overfull tank of gas. When I got to Seattle, my gas tank in my car would still be full, as would be the tank that I'm pulling behind me. It's kind of like magic, but that's what an immune system modulator does. And so tonight we're going to talk about Shaklee's immune system modulator, Nutriferon. And we want to talk first about this guy, and his name is Yasuhiko Kojima. And he is a renowned immunologist who discovered interferon. Interferon is a naturally occurring protein in our bodies. Our body makes interferon. There are three kinds, alpha, beta, and gamma. They do three different things in the body, and but our bodies manufacture interferon. There's some evidence that as we grow older, as with many bodily processes, they slow down, and our interferon production may slow down a little. But anyway, after 40 years of dedicated research, Dr. Kojima isolated a proprietary blend of plant extracts that were derived from pumpkin seeds up here in the upper left-hand corner, safflower flowers in the right-hand corner, plantago seeds in the left-hand corner, and the Japanese honeysuckle. And they were found to increase the body's natural production of interferon. And I've often wondered, how did this all come about? I mean, did the guy just go out and pick flowers? I mean, what did he do? And so I began to research this. And there's a better picture of the four components of Nutriferon. But when you think about the research that took place, you think about the selection. First of all, he had to select the plants, right? What plants? 1 plant, 2 plants, 4 plants, 27 plants? Then, after he discovered the kinds of plants, maybe he had to think about how he was going to extract the active constituents from those plants. And maybe a lot of different methods could be looked at, different processes, at what temperatures, things like this. This had to have been an enormous undertaking, which is probably why it took him 40 years. But the thing is that I have got in front of me, if you have access to and can find the research, there is a ton of research from Dr. Kojima on the selection, the extraction, the methods, the processes, and it says that in recent years, the number of people who use health foods has been increasing, reflecting an increase in public awareness of diet and fitness for improving health. However, there have been few clinical studies that evaluated the safety and efficacy of these health food products, and that's certainly those of us who represent Shaklee are aware of that, and we're so proud of the fact that our company does those clinical studies. But this goes on to state that, and Dr. Kojima's name for this was not Nutriferon. Scientists don't pick out names. Those names are picked out by marketing people. Dr. Kojima's name for this was EH0202. It's a health food that was developed by Yamanouchi Pharmaceutical, which is true. It's a mixture of 4 herbal extracts that are known to stimulate macrophage activity. Macrophages are like Pac-Man things that travel around in our body that when they see an invader, they gobble it up. Dr. Yasuhiko Kojima, who was the first to describe interferon and is one of the foremost experts in this field, together with his fellow researchers, has screened some 200 herbs commonly used as traditional Chinese medicine formulations in Japan. Based on their screening, 4 herbs were finally selected that were shown to be interferon inducers and that could be used as food additives. And they were the 4 that we talked about, pumpkin and so forth. And it says that EH0202 is a mixture of these 4 extracts. It has been shown that EH0202 administration decreases the incidence of viral pneumonia and the mortality rate in pigs with porcine reproductive and respiratory syndrome. Remember, Yamanouchi is a pharmaceutical company. Pharmaceutical companies do animal testing. Shaklee does not. In addition, in postmenopausal women, oral administration for 6 months improves subjective menopausal symptoms and increased macrophage colony stimulating factor. And, you know, this goes on and on. I mean, they did a huge amount of research, and they did it for 2 things. One is they wanted to make sure that when they finally determined which of the 4 plants out of the 200 they were looking at actually had some positive reaction, then they, you know, they went through the extraction and the temperature and all of that stuff. And so they wanted to make sure that the efficacy was there. Did it work? Yes. The next thing they wanted to make sure was, how about the safety? Is the safety there? And so they did a lot of research, and I threw some of these clinicals in. But here's a, you know, and here's a total number of 35 patients. These, you know, and today pharmaceutical companies may use 1,000 patients, but, and this one, and so at the start, 6 people had malaise, you know, and you could see that after 1 month and after 3 months that the malaise had gone away in 4 of the 6 people. And it didn't seem to have a lot of side effects. So, you know, out of 35 people, 1 person pruritus, that's itching. 1 person had itching. So if we look at that, and the next one, here's that drug name, EH0202. And this is on the blood index. If you notice, it did not affect white cell count. Here's the pre is the baseline before the study started. Then after 1 month and after 3 months, and if you look at the white cell count, it stayed exactly the same. The red blood cell count, for all practical purposes, stayed exactly the same. The hemoglobin stayed exactly the same. The hematocrit stayed exactly the same, and the platelets stayed exactly the same. That told them that they were not affecting blood, that the blood profile was remaining steady while it did the good things. It was not doing the bad things. And then finally, you know, the effects of EHO2O2 on biochemical indices. And if you look at this long enough or take a picture of it with your phone, you'll find out that as you look at these, it really didn't change the blood profile. And so that was really good. That was good news. And that's what they really wanted to know. And so we can go here, and this is a Shaklee slide. And if you'll notice, Shaklee calls Nutriferon an interferon booster, not an immune system booster, but an interferon booster. And that's significantly different. And I hope that you understand the difference in that. There are some of Dr. Kojima's studies were done on people with influenza virus. Some of them were done on people with hepatitis. And in all of these instances, the results showed that EHO2O2, we're going to call it that EHO2O2 was indeed had a positive effect on boosting interferon in the body of the people who consumed it. And you know, here it says currently there are 4 million. This study was done in 2004, and it says currently there are 4 million patients with viral hepatitis in Japan. In addition, it's thought there are more than 1 million carriers. In the United States, it's known that 4 million people have been infected with hepatitis. Thus, hepatitis is a major international health problem which requires significant medical attention. The general strategies for the treatment of chronic hepatitis C are to eradicate it and to suppress the hepatitis. Interferons are the mainstay in the treatment of hepatitis C. And so they're having a lot of very good results with this interferon booster EHO2O2 when they're doing studies with in people and in animals with the diseases. And so there seems to be very, very, very little effect, adverse effect. And so anyway, pretty much, and we know that Nutriferon was purchased by Shaklee originally in when Roger Barnett bought Shaklee from Yamanouchi in 2004. He was quite impressed with this product and EHO2O2. So he purchased the worldwide rights to the product. So yes, it's unique to Shaklee. Dr. Kojima for a while was on our scientific advisory board, not a paid position, but a position that he wanted, that he sought. And I'll be honest, I'm not sure that Dr. Kojima is even still with us, but I presume that he is. I didn't actually look that up. I was very impressed with all of the research that he did on EHO2O2, and so pleased that we ended up with it. And because we were a sister company to Yamanouchi Pharmaceutical, when research like this was done and the result of the research was non-prescription, then Yamanouchi turned several of those products over to Shaklee. to be marketed in the United States. When Shaklee owned Yamanouchi for 15 years, they never marketed a product in the United States under the Yamanouchi name, either non-prescription or prescription. As a pharmacist, I dispensed a lot of Yamanouchi pharmaceuticals, and but none of them had the Yamanouchi name on them. They were always cross-licensed to another pharmaceutical company, and I never really understood that, and it was none of my business, and so I didn't put a lot of effort into trying to figure it out, but nothing. And so when this product became available, it was given to Shaklee to market in the United States. Roger Barnett called it Nutriferon and bought the worldwide rights to it, and today we have that. It's in short supply because of the world situation that's going on right now. But someone started a nasty rumor that said it was off back order. I don't know if that's true or not. But anyway, that's Bob. If you have questions or some comments, I'm open to listening.
Yeah. Let's pop up. I'm going to pop up the chat here, and okay. So I'm going to, other than wonderful things like Rebecca Burke says, both of you rock. Well, thank you, Rebecca. Point taken. And Rebecca Burke also asked, can one take more than 2 a day, or is it a waste to take more than 2 a day?
You passing that to me, Bob?
I'm passing that porcupine right over to you.
All right, sir.
Out of my pay grade.
Well, remember what we talked about in the very beginning, that immune, and as you saw on the previous slide, that this is an interferon booster. It's not an immune system booster. So, as with many herbal remedies, the serving size is the size that a regular person, I don't use the name normal because I'm not normal and I suspect many other people aren't. A regular person would expect to get the labeled effect from an herbal remedy with a serving size. And so the serving size of Nutriferon is 2 tablets. That does not mean that under extenuating circumstances, a person might need more than 1 serving. And we have to be very careful because Birthday Brother Bob records these. And so we kind of have to be careful, but it would be appropriate with extenuating circumstances that more than 1 serving a day would be appropriate. That's, you know, when that happens is above my pay grade.
Right, there we go.
But everyone who uses Shaklee supplement, I'll give you my standard speech. If people want Shaklee nutritional supplements and Shaklee herbal remedies, boy, I might get in trouble. If they want them to act in a therapeutic manner, then they must be used therapeutically. As you know from the slide that's on the screen now, I do consultations for people all over the country. And invariably, I talk to people who want to know how they can get off their blood pressure medicine using Shaklee supplements. And we talk about it, and I find out, I always want to know, you know, what medications you're taking, and I want to know what supplements you're taking. And people send me these lists, and they're taking 40 supplements a day. And so I say to them, okay, you're taking your blood pressure medicine. Have you taken it today? This is 11 o'clock in the morning. Have you taken it today? Oh yeah, I never miss. Okay, tell me what supplements you've taken so far today. Well, today I got up late, and I'm going to take my supplements as soon as we get off the phone. But right now I haven't taken any. And I say, oh, but did you take your blood pressure medicine this morning? Oh yeah, I took it. That's why the blood pressure medicine works, and maybe the supplements are not working as well as they might. They have to be taken therapeutically. And so, we build new red blood cells every 120 days, just like clockwork. Been going on since the day you were born. Every 120 days, you get all new red blood cells. And so it's not rocket science. If the blood cells you're building are better than the ones that are dying, what's going to happen to your health? It's going to improve. And if the blood cells you're building are the same as the ones that are dying, well, your health is probably declining because you're 120 days older. And if you don't take care of yourself and they're worse, then your health declines rapidly and degenerative disease sets in and things like that. So if we want Nutriferon to be an interferon booster in our body, then we have to take it on a regular basis. We shouldn't miss servings.
Right. There we go. And someone talked about Nutriferon being, a virus blaster. I'm thinking that probably isn't the best way to think about it. I'm thinking that what is on the screen is the best way to think about it. It's an interferon booster, and that interferon, the boosting of the interferon, is what takes care of the situation in the body. Am I correct there, Rusty?
You are. And, when you think about it, we're probably blasted by viruses all the time.
Well, we are, right? Yes, all the time.
Because they're everywhere. They're everywhere. There's a reason that you wash your hands after you go to the bathroom 20 years ago. And, and so anyway, you're exactly right. To call it a virus blaster is probably a misnomer and probably would create some concern with our brand partner. But the fact that people whose immune systems are modulated, that those blasts from viruses are not as detrimental as they would be to someone who has a weakened immune system. So going back to the very first slide, it says true health can be attained only by maintaining a healthy, properly functioning immune system.
Great
Story.
Well, and I think that's a good place for us to end. I think, Rusty, let me stop share here so that we can jump back on together here. So yeah, so there's quite a few other questions here. If anyone has a question that I didn't address, it may be because it's just better to address that somewhat more privately, feel free to send me a private message on Facebook and I will get it to Rusty and we'll get you an answer. But Rusty, this was really, really great information. And so the bottom line, let's summarize, what should people take away from this conversation? What do you hope that everyone will go out into the world knowing for themselves and being able to share with other people, in brief?
That we will be continuously affected by world conditions because we are a global community today. And we must prepare ourselves for the adverse effects of being a global community. If we were all, cocooning and nobody ever left their cocoon, immunity wouldn't be a big deal. But because we're a global community, it is a big deal. Immunity is a huge deal. Always has been. I mean, somebody told me there was a Spanish flu in 1918. You may remember that, Bob, but that's before I was born. But it killed a lot of people. So this isn't new. What we're going through isn't new. And I mean, we're a global community. We have to prepare for that. So let's prepare.
Take your 2 Nutriferon a day. Take your supplements. Eat cleanly. Exercise. Sleep. Say nice things to people.
Interferon is a protein made up of amino acids. So if our bodies are not complete protein, are not taking in complete protein on a daily basis, our interferon booster has nothing to build interferon from.
And that is the key point. And that is the point that you made, I think, in one of the last calls, Rusty, that actually one of the symptoms of malnutrition is depressed immune function. You can determine whether a person is malnourished by looking at the strength of their immune function. So it seems so completely clear. Our body is cosmically complex. And if anyone, like Dr. Shaklee said, he said, the one thing I know after studying this all my life is how much I don't know. I know there's much more I don't know than I do know. And we have gone a long way, but just looking at the interaction of how do we take salmon and asparagus and salad that I was eating rather quickly before the call and turn it into white blood cells and hair and brain activity. I mean, give me a break. I mean, that's beyond both of our pay grades or anyone on this.
But somebody knows.
Somebody knows. And
somebody's figured it out.
Somebody has created food for us and the requirement of sleep and the rules of human behavior and kindness and all of those things. And I love the Dr. Shaklee quote, and maybe we can leave with this. Something to the fact that nature is commanded by obeying her. If you want to command nature, you obey her. If you want to rule the world, if you will, then understand what natural law is and flow inside the boundaries of that natural law. And so on that wonderful note, Rusty, thank you very much. This was
You're welcome, Bob.
just as good as I hoped it would be, if not better.
Yeah, next time we'll talk maybe about the mind.
There we go. Yes. So on the 18th of June, I believe it's June 18th, if that's a Tuesday, we are going to talk about herbs for mental function. And then there's another talk in July, and stay tuned. We'll tell you all about that. We have many other great conversations coming up. The place to go find all the titles is go to the Facebook group called Shaklee Talks, or Tuesday Shaklee Talks. And then the very first pinned post, you can expand it, and there's all the titles. And okay, so that's it. And I will get this archived and thrown in there as an archive. So, okay. Oh, yeah, June 16th. Thank you. June 16th is Tuesday, not June 18th. Thank you very much.
When you have a room full of people, you don't have to know anything.
I don't have to know anything. We got all these wonderful people.
Yeah, we have the brains.
Gosh, Rusty, we've got such a fantastic array of thanks. And so I will just say thank you all for the thanks, and we will keep on keeping on. So take good care, all.
Bye, everybody.